Hey guys, Henry here. Picture this. A courtroom filled with emotions running high. A well-respected lawyer, JD Vance, comes face to face with a corrupt judge who is determined to destroy him at any cost. What unfolds next will leave you speechless. But before we dive in, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and leave a comment with your thoughts on the shocking events you're about to witness. Let's get started. The scene opens with JD Vance standing tall in front of his client, a high-profile political figure accused of corruption. The courtroom is packed with spectators, journalists, and legal experts. The air is thick with anticipation, as everyone knows the case could have far-reaching consequences. The judge, a man of middle age with an air of superiority, sits at the bench. His expression is cold and calculating. As Vance prepares to speak, he casts a dismissive glance at the lawyer. Vance rises, beginning his opening statement, speaking in a measured tone as he addresses the judge and the jury. His words are precise, outlining the weaknesses in the prosecution's case. But the judge interrupts almost immediately, speaking with an exaggerated, dismissive tone. "Mr. Vance, I hope you don't plan to bore us with a lecture. We're not here for a media stunt. We're here to see justice served." As Vance continues his argument, the judge becomes more impatient. His posture slouches as he leans toward the microphone, ready to inject his criticisms. With a smirk, he interrupts once more. "Mr. Vance," he sneers, "if you're here to show off your legal theatrics, perhaps you should have auditioned for a role on a courtroom drama, instead of being a lawyer." Vance pauses, his hand tightening around the podium, but he remains composed. The crowd can feel the hostility growing between the two. "Your Honor," Vance says, voice steady but firm, "I'm here to focus on facts, not theatrics. These facts speak for themselves." But the judge, seemingly growing more irritated with each passing second, shakes his head dismissively. "Is that so? Well, it seems your facts are just a fancy way to stall." The insults continue. With every point Vance makes, the judge becomes more condescending, speaking to him as if he's a child. "How cute," the judge mocks. "You think the court cares about your moral grandstanding? Let's talk about what really matters here. Your client's clear lack of integrity." Vance, now visibly frustrated, takes a deep breath. He knows he must remain professional, but his patience is thinning. "Your Honor," Vance responds, "this case is about justice, not personal attacks. Let's focus on the evidence, please." But the judge dismisses him once again, leaning back in his chair, clearly enjoying the power he holds over the situation. "You're out of your league, Mr. Vance," the judge sneers. "Maybe you should have stayed in your lane." The personal insults from the judge become even more intense. He now targets Vance's career and public image, questioning his ability to be impartial. "I've seen lawyers like you before," the judge says. "You're more interested in media attention than the actual case. You're a pawn in the media circus, Mr. Vance, not a serious legal professional." The crowd exchanges glances, unsure of how to react. Vance, visibly upset, stands his ground. "I'm here for the truth, Your Honor, not to play games or cater to the media," he says, his voice unwavering. The judge's eyes narrow. "You can pretend to be above it all, but it's obvious you're just playing a part in this whole charade." Vance's patience has finally reached its breaking point. He stands taller, his posture now more assertive, and speaks directly to the judge. "You've made your point, Your Honor, but it's time to focus on what really matters here, justice, not your ego." The judge leans forward, his expression darkening. "You dare talk to me like that? In my courtroom?" Vance, without hesitation, steps forward, his voice steady but filled with authority. "Yes, Your Honor, I do. Because what you're doing here is wrong. You're obstructing justice." The room falls silent. The audience can sense the shift in power. It's no longer just a legal dispute. It's become a battle of wills. The judge slams his gavel down in fury. "Enough," he roars. "I will not tolerate such insolence in my courtroom. Mr. Vance, you are in contempt of court." The security guards move toward Vance, but he stands his ground, his eyes locked on the judge's. "Contempt of court," Vance retorts, his voice filled with disbelief. "For speaking the truth? You've completely lost your authority here, Judge." The judge's face turns red with anger as he orders the security officers to immediately arrest Vance. "Take him out of here now," the judge shouts. The security guards close in on Vance, but he doesn't budge. His jaw clenched, he stands tall, refusing to let the judge have the last word. "You think you can silence me with this? You can't," Vance says firmly. "I'm not leaving. I came here to represent justice, and I'll do that, whether you like it or not." The crowd shifts uneasily in their seats. Vance's words seem to resonate with some, while others watch in stunned silence as the confrontation escalates. As the tension in the courtroom reaches its peak, Vance is forcefully handcuffed by the security officers. The sound of the handcuffs clicking echoes through the room. The audience watches in shock as Vance is led away, his face a mixture of anger and determination. "Let go of me," Vance exclaims, struggling against the grip of the officers. But there is no escape. He's now under the judge's control. The judge, for a moment, watches Vance being escorted out, his expression a mixture of satisfaction and uncertainty. He thinks he has won, but something in his eyes betrays a flicker of doubt. As Vance is escorted out of the courtroom, whispers begin to circulate among the spectators. The energy in the room shifts. What was once an intense legal battle has now become a spectacle, and the judge's behavior is beginning to raise questions. Outside the courtroom, legal analysts and journalists begin to speculate. Was Vance wrongfully arrested? Was the judge justified in his actions? The public is now watching, and the judge's decision may have just opened a can of worms. The news spreads quickly. TV networks, social media platforms, and legal forums explode with outrage over the judge's actions. Legal experts and public figures rally behind Vance, calling for an investigation into the judge's conduct. The judge's behavior was unprofessional, and the arrest of JD Vance was a violation of his rights, one prominent lawyer states on national television. Meanwhile, Vance, despite being arrested, gains even more support. His defiance in the face of injustice has turned him into a symbol of resilience. As the public outcry grows, a formal investigation is launched into the judge's conduct. Allegations of corruption and bias begin to surface, with reports linking the judge to shady political figures and questionable decisions in previous cases. The investigation intensifies, and more individuals come forward with testimonies about the judge's unethical behavior. In the end, the judge is removed from his position pending the outcome of the investigation. His reputation is tarnished beyond repair, and the public's trust in the judicial system begins to heal. As for JD Vance, he is released, and the charges against him are dropped. He walks out of the courthouse a hero, his belief in justice stronger than ever. He vows to continue his fight, knowing that the truth will always come to light. The final shot shows Vance looking directly into the camera, his voice calm but resolute. This is just the beginning. The fight for justice never ends. An unbelievable story of corruption, power, and the relentless pursuit of justice. What do you think? Was Vance right to stand up to the judge, or did he go too far? Like, comment, and subscribe for more explosive courtroom dramas and legal battles. Stay tuned for more shocking stories from the world of law.